So their whole life, like our 24 hours, for them, maybe 30 seconds is our 24 hours. So their life is over and over and over doing the same thing.
True. Now, also, one of the theories is on that residual, what's called residual haunting, is underneath a lot of land, if there's a lot of quartz, limestone, or granite, which supposedly holds a lot of energy like that, that's what causes a certain elemental happenings that goes on in the atmosphere or whatever could trigger these things to play like a recorder or whatnot. And they're really not even a haunting. It's just like a recording. That's the theory. But nothing could be proven, but that's the theory anyway. One of the theories.
Well, I don't know. We don't know. And I don't want, when I die, I don't want to find out. I really don't. Now, I'm going to go one thing. My friend who passed on recently, Art Bell. John Lear called up on his show one time and was talking about near-death experiences and all this stuff. And he threw up to Art Bell. You know, it's a trick. When you go through a near-death experience or when you die, don't go to the light. It's a trick. Basically, the devil, the demons are making you think, oh, you want to go to the light because that's happiness. He told Art, no, you want to go the opposite. You want to go where it's dark and peaceful. Now, it was something that really bugged Art. Death really bugged Art Bell big time. It really did because, it's something. How can you explain it? If you haven't died, and maybe one of the lucky ones that were brought back or came back, we don't know what happens when we die. So,
true.
Could it be a trick? Could it be going to the light? Is that happiness? Is that we're going to see God and Jesus, and we're going to go to heaven? Or when we die, the darkness is peace and content. Is that the way we're supposed to go? I don't know. Art was so confused on that. I'll be honest with you. We talked about it for hours on the phone. And it's got me wondering. I wish Art never even told me about it. And then I wish I wouldn't back and gone back on time and listened to his show on that one, because that's one I actually missed. But after I listened to it and then having Art tell me over and over again through the years about that, I'm really confused myself. I am. Well, James, I'm scared. I'm scared when I die.
Let me ease your mind. I'm going to ease your mind right now.
Please do, because I don't want to make the wrong decision.
I'm going to ease your mind. I assure you that whenever you pass on, that your guides and your loved ones will be there to greet you. Now, here's the key. Whenever you pass on, do not attach yourself or be attached to any material things that means nothing. Let it go. Let it go. Follow your loved ones. They will take you to the light and cross you over, and then you can always come back. But when you get that window of opportunity, once you pass the crossover, please cross over. Your loved ones of somebody whoever your guides are will be there to guide you and help you. Just go with them. It'll all be good. Trust me on that.
But James, how do I know that they're not demons pretending to be my mom and dad and my grandmother?
Well, let me ask you this.
Well, no, I'm asking you this. You answer that for me first. How do I know that they're not demons coming and trying to trick me, to take my soul and rob it from me?
I'm going to answer that for you right now. Have you lived up to this minute? Have you been a rotten person doing a lot of bad things? You've been robbing banks, killing people, raping people, doing drugs, all kind of these things. If so, then you may have some problems. You may come across demons, or maybe you won't. But I'm going to assure you that you're going to be okay when you pass on. You're going to be all right. Your loved ones will be there, and they'll guide you to the right spot.
Okay. Well, I got something to admit. Okay, am I going to go to hell for this? When I was like 10 years old, my brother had a paper out, and he used to go collecting for all the subscribers every month. He would go to door, and they would pay their little bill for their newspapers for the month, and he would turn it over to the newspaper. Okay, Okay? And if he didn't turn it over to the newspaper, he had to pay it. Or actually, my dad would have to cough the money up.
Right.
Okay? I'm going to admit something right now. Okay? It's bothered me for the last 35 seconds. I knew at which coffee can he used to put his money in. I stole $2 out of it. I'll admit it right now. And I went and bought ice cream bars and popsicles. The popsicles were 3 cents at the local little store, and the ice cream bars were 5 cents.
Let me ask you a question. Did you learn a life lesson from that?
No, I did. I tried to buy friendship around with all the other neighborhood boys and girls, right? So I'd go, they melded too, by the way. I would go up to kids that hated me, right, and say, here's a popsicle if you be my friend. Here's an ice cream bar to the ones that like punching me. Oh, I just lost you. Call back. But, that's what happened. And I stole his $2 and it bothered me for a long time because you know why? My father, when I admitted, well, naturally my dad, after he had to make the $2 good, he took me into the spare bedroom and showed me his army belt and said, okay, Gary, did you steal his $2? And I first said, no, Dad, I didn't do it. He goes, I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you steal the $2? Okay. That's the problem with Skype. So
yeah, cut me off when he let me come back on.
And you don't even sound as good now either. But I
know. I had to use my phone.
Okay, but I sat there and I was telling everybody that my dad took me in this bedroom, right? And wanted me to, hi, Karen Banks, wanted me to confess I stole the $2. Well, I stole the $2, Dad, and I bought ice cream bars and popsicles, okay?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, I couldn't sit down. Back in those days, my dad, believed in using the belt right on your bare ass, this thick leather belt.
Yeah.
So am I going to go to hell because I stole $2 from my brother?
No, you're not going to go to hell. I'm going to tell you why. You've learned a life's lesson from that. You've redeemed yourself. You've learned from it. You're not going to hell for it. You're going to be good.
Okay. How about when I used to buy stuff and not tell my wife and lie about it?
You've just redeemed yourself by you learned that lesson, life's lesson, and you've just repented it right now. You're good.
Hey, Linda, I did buy that. I did buy that amplifier for my server last week. Okay.
Now, let me ask you.
Yes.
One last chance. Did Bigfoot throw that rock at that car?
Honestly, I swear to God, I'll take a lie detector test if you want to pay for it. Yes.
I always say that because you say your wife don't believe it. That's why.
Yeah, well, 100% true, or my name isn't Karen Banks. No, it's true. True story. I lost a good friendship on it because he was scared I was going to go around and tell everybody about the Bigfoot. And his father was a Superior Court judge, and his brother was a criminal attorney in Tacoma, Washington, a high-profile one, and they fronted the money for his medical practice. And let's face it, how many people would want to go to a doctor if he got in the newspaper? Oh, this doctor just seen a Bigfoot and was chased up in the Canadian Rockies. I could see his point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I know it. Like, who's going to believe that stuff?
Well, I will say this, okay, for all the people that want to be on my show, talk about Bigfoot, okay? I haven't, only one person in the past year and a half actually has claimed, really, that they saw a Bigfoot. And that was Ed Romans. He's like number 1 or number 2 country folk singer out of Canada. He's a major singer. And, he described everything I saw, because we talked for almost like an hour before we went on air. And everything we were talking about, it matched 100% what I saw. And the people that claim all this other stuff about Bigfoot, that's when I can tell you either they're lying their butt off, or they just all they're doing is reading other people's stuff that has read other people's stuff, who's read other people's stuff, who watched some bad movie. It was made in 1959.
Well, so anyway, he confirmed or validated a lot of what you saw.
Well, yeah. I mean, when it's one thing when I have all these other people that claim that the Bigfoot walk like me and you, only take bigger steps. Well, when Ed Romans told me that he ran into that going into the forest up in BC on a trail he goes on all the time, when he saw something about 1,000 yards away from him, and it looked bigger than a bear. And then, I guess he had a little pair of those little bird binoculars, and he looked at it and he realized that's a Bigfoot or something. And then it noticed him and started chasing after him. It ran from 2 legs to 4 legs to 2 legs to 4 legs. Exact same thing I noticed.
Wow.
So, I mean.
Right. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, how would he know to just make that up, Right.
And then back about 2 weeks ago on Facebook, somebody was showing this video and putting it up on Facebook of an encounter of a Bigfoot, right? Mm-hmm. And you could, when the guy was walking, or the Bigfoot was walking, okay, you could clearly see it was a costume, okay, because the fur and the material was not, in other words, it was moving different than the whole leg was. Okay, you could tell. It's like if you put a baggy pair of pants on and start walking.
Yeah.
And it was a dead giveaway. Or these pictures that the people put up on these Bigfoot groups and stuff like that. You really look at them and you bring them up. Either it's like, what? When I was a young kid, Popular Mechanics and all this stuff used to have things on the back for weight loss.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed? Here's the before. And here's the after. Well, the before picture was always a little bit blurry. And then the after picture was really sharp. Well, that picture before probably wasn't even the same person. They got somebody that resembled it, made it a little blurry. Okay, there's the before and here's the after. Now spend $19.95 and you'll lose all this weight. Come on. It's really bad. It's not just Bigfoot, so I'm not saying that. It's UFOs and aliens and all this stuff. I mean, I have been in, also besides being in radio for a long time, I was in photography since I was a little kid. I had a dark room at 7 or 8 years old in my dad's garage. I mean, my whole life was two passions. One, talking on the radio, CB, and then ham, and then broadcasting commercial. But the other was for years. I mean, being a professional photographer. I mean, Leonard Nimoy bought a lot of my prints. Some of the other famous people bought. I was very famous at one time in photography to one day I said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. But I won't go into that story. But I can honestly tell you, I mean, I can bring an image in. I got software loaded on one of my computers. I use that quite a bit when people want to be a guest on my show. They say, hey, look at this picture of this Bigfoot, or look at this picture of this UFO. And I start looking and blowing it up, and I go, okay, they have a DLR camera. That's a digital sensor camera, removable lens, and dust gets on the sensor. And guess what? It's a dust spot. And when you blow it up to a certain magnification, you enhance it, you can see the dust spot. But guess what? I guess to some people it looks like a UFO.
Yeah. Yeah, and other people said dust. That's the same way with orbs. I know you don't like that word, but orbs, man, unless you can see them with your eyes, dust, humidity, bugs, it could be a million different things. It's just it's just the way it is.
The dead giveaway, right? You're 3 feet away, 5 feet away from your back door, right, of your porch, and you have a light on, and it's nighttime, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, now you're taking pictures of your backyard. Okay, now the first thing is a aperture on the lens is not round. Okay, that's number one. Now, two is when you're in low light situations like that, and if that light gets picked up from, let's say, the porch light or that garage light or that street light down the road, what happens is it goes in that lens, right? And it kind of bounces around a little bit, and here's your image. And, oh my God, I got these orbs. It's not orbs. It's just the light reflection on the lens. reflecting on the lens. That's what it is. I hate to say it on most of the pictures. Now, some of it, I've seen pictures of orbs in the daylight